with respect to immigration, this president came into office introducing a comprehensive immigration reform, sought and received and was able to obtain record border security funding, was able to put in place a series of policies that expanded legal pathways for migration, that dealt with our border situation, and has now resulted in a significant decrease in unlawful border crossings since the lifting of Title 42. And he's done all of that without the help of Republican governors around the country or Republican lawmakers in Congress.
Well, you would think, or at least hope, that when someone stood behind the White House podium and provided American information, it would actually be factual. Oh, hey, there were a couple facts in there, but unfortunately they were smashed in between complete misrepresentations, if not flat-out lies. So let's just go through them real quick. Immigration reform. Yeah, the administration did push that. Congress rejected it. Congress is the only one that has legal authority to change immigration law. Funding for border security. The initials of border security are BS. And that's about how I look at their funding. They got additional money. It went to processing centers that this administration wanted the U.S. Border Patrol to call welcoming centers. Think about that for a minute. And all it did was expedite the processing of illegal aliens and resulted in more of them being released into the United States much faster. Policies that created safe legal pathways. Yeah, not true. Back to my original statement, Congress is the only authority in the United States that can change immigration law. This administration did tear down policies that were working to create border security, and they replaced them with policies that created gaping loopholes, literally enabling fraud in our asylum and immigration system, resulting in millions of people being released into the United States that really have no legal claim to be here. They claim that there was a significant decrease in unlawful entries after Title 42 as compared to before Title 42. Again, you look at simply between the ports of entry southwest border illegal entries, day before, day after, and that could be true. Don't look at that. Look at total U.S. encounters. It's the United States. It's not just the southwest border. Look at total encounters, and the ports of entry call them inadmissibles, and the numbers are still super high. They're just hiding a lot of people by pushing them through the ports of entry. And more importantly, the numbers are still double what they were in the prior administration and even the administration before that. Biden's policies has resulted in a tidal wave of illegal immigration. Over 2.2 million people a year under the Biden administration being caught across the southwest border. We have no idea how many were not caught. Prior administration, it peaked about 1.1 million, a little over that, 2019. But the average was over 700, right about 700,000 going back to 2015. The border was getting more and more secure. We were controlling it. This administration did take aggressive action on the border. They opened it, and now your safety is more at risk than it was ever before. Please look into this more, and please remember this every time you go to the ballot box.
This president came into office introducing a comprehensive immigration reform.
It's really sad that you can't trust a White House spokesperson standing behind a podium. Hey, anyway, we're going to break it down bullet by bullet for you.
Sought and received and was able to obtain record border security funding.
Yeah, more money for border security. Hey, the initials of border security are BS. And that's about what this administration's statements right there were. The additional money went to set up temporary processing centers that this administration wanted called welcoming centers. Think about that. Millions of dollars were spent to expedite the processing of illegal aliens and releasing millions of them into the United States, pending court cases years down the road, all while knowing that the merits of their asylum claims were BS.
Was able to put in place a series of policies that expanded legal pathways for migration, that dealt with our border situation, and has now resulted in a significant decrease in unlawful border crossings since the lifting of Title 42.
Yeah, I think the term she used was decrease in unlawful entries. So let's put that one into context. First and foremost, look at the total numbers, not just the day before Title 42 went away and the day after. There was a significant drop there. But if you look at total numbers, there's never been an administration, their policies were so devastating to border security. 2.2 million illegal aliens encountered every year under the Biden administration on average. less than 700,000, or right about 700,000 on average a year, going back to 2015. And the border was getting more and more secure. Today, the border is getting less and less secure. Don't buy into their numbers. When they give you statistics, or anybody gives you statistics, make sure you're looking at the context they're using them in, because that was a very misleading statement. It's just not true. And just to close out, this administration consistently takes one little fact and then spins it in a way to make it completely misrepresent the situation. The Biden administration has, in fact, taken a lot of action on the border. They took the most secure border this country has ever had, and they opened it to the world and basically destroyed border security. That should matter to you, because that means the cartels are picking and choosing who come into our home now instead of us. It was all preventable. The cross-border illegal entries in between the ports of entries, they have dropped, but it's still over 3 times what it was before the Biden administration came into power, and it's overwhelming the United States Border Patrol. This is not sustainable. Just as bad, if not even worse, they've pushed illegal activity into the ports of entry through the CBP-1 app. And now they're overwhelming Customs and Border Protection officers that should be looking for fentanyl. They should be looking for other people, terrorists, criminals, but they're overwhelmed with this immigration processing that's being forced on them as well, of people that do not have a legal claim. This administration knows they're exploiting the system via fraud, which is in fact a crime. So it is not a lawful entry. Hey, don't take my word for it. Please, whatever you do, don't take their word for it. Go to cbp.gov, dive into the stats and summaries, but you've got to look at total U.S. encounters. Don't get sucked into this one little geographic area either. It's the United States national security, the United States border security. That's what we care about, because we care about you as Americans. And that's what Customs and Border Protection and Border Patrol want to do, is protect America. But right now, Biden administration is really making it pretty difficult.